Good evening, Speed Gaming 3. Welcome to another edition of the Super Metroid multi-category tournament. My name is Tracy M. With me tonight is Ditmook. How you doing, Mookie?
A little bit tired, but pretty good. Can't complain.
Uh, yeah, all right. So we have crossproduct versus Kishmo racing low percent ice, which is kind of an interesting choice for these two. Crossproduct, the lower seed. Crossproduct's a really interesting runner because he is definitely better than his seed would indicate. If you look at his PBs, they are nothing to write home about. But I think that's just because he really doesn't grind those a lot. He has a lot of weird esoteric categories like dashless and some of these other categories like that. Also does a lot of randomizer and just hasn't put the time into the other categories. Kishmo, the higher seed, decided to veto GT Classic. Which left the decision to cross product, and he decided let's run low ice. uh, if we want to take a look at those PBs for this category, they do each have a PB. Cross product with a 132.07, which is reasonable and very respectable. But Kish has a get this right. There he is. Kish I had it and I lost it. There we go. Kish, the 8 seed, has a 57.25, a very good low percent ice, but he says he hasn't practiced this in quite a while, and Cross Product is just hoping not to embarrass himself. So we could see a very interesting race.
So this is really interesting because you are handcuffed more than pretty much any other category in the tournament, I feel like, or at least this week. Like you can't pick up something extra just for safety.
Yeah, of course, yeah, because you can pick up an E-Tank earlier, but then you don't get the benefit of picking up that E-Tank later, and that's the best you can do in terms of safeties. Because you're going to pick up 3 E-Tanks, you're going to pick up 2 missile packs, 2 super packs, 1 power bomb pack, morph ball, bombs, charge beam, ice beam, and both suits, and that's it. That is all we are getting. As they're going to make their way out of Series Station. But yeah, cross product, as I said, very underseeded for his ability, just because he just hasn't put the time into it. He is the 51st seed. He is actually 2-1 in this tournament. Kishmo is 1-2. This is the weird quirks of Swiss scheduling. If you don't have a power of 2 number of players, right now we have 57 runners in this tournament. Somewhere along the line, you're going to get a matchup between this would matchup essentially puts the 2-1 player that has the lowest seed and the 1 and 2 with the highest seed. So it makes sense that these two are playing each other, and it's a good thing that we do have a decent matchup in the 2-1-1-2 because Kish is. He did have a bit of an issue in terms of missing a match a couple weeks ago. Very unfortunate situation with daylight savings time getting him in the European area. Cross product, like we said, underseeded. So we're gonna get it. We should get it. We have the potential for a really good race here, but it is low percent ice. So that Ridley fight, that Dragon fight, even the Mother Brain fight, very difficult in this category, and we'll see how these runners deal with it.
Yeah, definitely. Just I think there's a even if the race isn't like close, like no matter where you're at in the race for the most part, it takes not much for it to be a catastrophic mistake, and then the other person is just now catching up or taking over, and very volatile.
Yeah, we do have. It is more likely the runners are probably going to take safety saves throughout, especially before the big boss fights. Definitely don't want to lose that progress in those situations.
Yeah, I definitely think. I mean, you'll see a lower Norfair save, and probably one right before Dragon too.
But we are still at the point where the run doesn't really differ from other runs. We are still, of course, picking up the morph ball and picking up just the 1 pack of missiles. And Kish heading into the climb. Crossproduct just behind in the pit room, killing all those pirates. Kish doing a nice start to the ledge grab climb. But Cross gonna do some wall jumps. Cross
Cross
having a little
unfortunately
bit,
getting caught up
yeah,
by the first major boss of the game in the climb.
yeah. This room really is one of the hardest rooms to do in any run in Super Metroid, and it's pretty much the same every time in every category. But still, it's casually, it's not gonna, it's probably not gonna kill you. But we're not just looking to not die here. We're speedrunners. We're trying to do this fast, and doing that room
And so
fast and
Kish now
optimally is
getting
difficult.
his bombs. Should kill
Oh, and Cross
BT. He's
Product
gonna
must have
put him,
missed on one of
push
his
him
missiles.
backwards, and then back and
Okay.
forth, and get some missiles, and hope not to blow the head off. BT not great with drop. Well, I guess I forgot to.
Yeah, Cross is actually coming in with 3 missiles because he had to farm a couple extras just to open the door.
So, I mean, like Tracy said earlier, this will.
Okay, picking up that first E-tank here over at the Terminator area. Definitely not an E-tank you want to skip. 1, you want it for the safety, and 2, you're going to run into it anyway. Crossrock, having finished his BT fight, we'll head up towards Alcatraz and into the Terminator room. The first place we're going to see divergence from what you would see in a typical any percent run is in Big Pink. They have to be careful not to pick up those charge missiles. Picking up those charge missiles doesn't quite invalidate the run at the moment, but it is almost impossible, or very difficult at least, to skip the missiles over the moat without some sort of way to jump over them, like Speed Booster. And of course, if we're going to do low percent ice, we don't get to pick up Speed Booster, so. Alright, Kish picking up his early supers. Everybody's favorite sequence break since we don't have to fight Spore Spawn.
Well, that's if you can mock ball well, which I can't. So it's not my favorite sequence break, but it is essential.
All right, Kish has got to go down and get that charge beam. Got to skip that missile. Okay. Okay, Kish doing a good job. Does skip the missile. Does make the Fantoon fight a little more difficult. The difference between having 10 missiles and 15, really even 15 and 20, is pretty significant, and just makes it really difficult to get a 2-round. So we'll probably see a couple 3 rounds, maybe even 4.
Yeah, Doppler strats become really awkward.
Cross, you scared me for a second. He turned for a second towards that missile. Don't pick it up if you're listening. Okay, and we are going to do Fantoon first. It is not required to do Fantoon first. You could very well do Kraid first and then come up and do Fantoon. But the routing just works out better to do Fantoon first. Most runners would do Fantoon and then Kraid, Ridley, and Dragon. You could choose to do Ridley before a Kraid and do basically a similar route than what you would do in an any percent new route run. But I expect these runners will do Kraid before Ridley. It is a little bit safer, as the lava dive would then allow you to have Barrier Suit. Does look like Crossproduct's going to choose to do Kraid first.
Gotta do what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not comfortable doing the early Fantoon, this makes a lot of sense. He is going to have to still do a CWJ over or a horizontal bomb jump over the moat. Can't avoid that because, again, we can't pick up any of those extra items. But it will make the Fantoon fight a lot safer as he will be able to pick up that barrier suit.
Yeah, one E tank, low ammo Pantoon is not fun.
No, it's a very, very difficult boss fight. And Kishmo showing why these it is difficult to get over the mode. He fails on the horizontal bomb jump, so he'll have to reset this. I'm gonna just reset it by using his moonwalk to put himself back in the door so he can get that jump set up again. Doesn't get the CWJ, is gonna go back for the horizontal bomb jump again.
Tracy, have you ever tried to put together your own low ice run?
Nope, and I never will. It is one category that I won't ever do. I actually have my hand has issues to where too much charge beam Ridley legit hurts it. So I can't even do a whole lot of practicing on plasma Ridley. So low percent ice is just not going to be in the cards for me ever.
Yeah, I have never tried either, so I was just curious.
Yeah, I mean it's a 200 shot Ridley fight. No. My hand hurts just thinking about it, so it's not going to happen. But I do really enjoy watching people play it. I know Kip spent a long time grinding it about a year ago, and I really enjoyed watching that. So it is a really cool category, and I enjoy the people that play it, and I enjoy that people do play it.
Yeah, no, it's a fun category to watch. I think it's how do I want to say this? Like, it's really engaging for the viewer as well. Like, you start to live the run with the runner.
Oh, for sure.
Not quite as much, but it's like anytime they're in at Ridley or at Mother Brain, it's like what's gonna happen?
Yo, yeah, every moment is a clenching moment because you're always at low energy. Like you just don't have that much health at any point in this run. And Cross even picking up the crate E tank as an extra safety. Okay, now don't go get high jump boots, Cross product. What are we doing now? Cross, there's oh, he could be getting ice beam. He could choose to get ice beam early. Just don't pick up high jump boots and you're good. This will make his red tower climb a little bit easier. I'm a little surprised to see him worrying about that. I mean, he is a veteran player, knows how to get up red tower and all that. But, you know, I mean, you're already down here, so it can't hurt.
No, I think this is one of those situations with a race, and if it's not what you're comfortable with, you try to get yourself as much comfort as possible.
I mean, he could choose to pick up another E tank here. I don't. We'll see if he does that. He could get the high jump boots E tank, but that would be it. Kishmo, though, finishing off his Fantoon fight very nicely. And Crossfire missing the ice escape, but with bombs, we don't worry about that. We can just bomb that hole up there. Let's see where cross product goes now. Okay, looks like he is going to grab that E-tank. So this will be his last E-tank, because you can't pick up more than 3.
And it's definitely different than what most runners of this category would do, but if you're not running it very often, might as well be as safe as you can for as long as you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there are situations where, like, having 2 E-tanks, and when you get to Ridley, and if you can finish off Ridley, then you can get the refill, a guaranteed refill. But if you wanted to in a race, you could farm your health back up fairly easily. So I guess it's not as bad.
Yeah, the free refills are nice, and the bot wound e-tanks, he's now gonna have to skip that for sure. Although that's a commonly skipped one. You'll see runners, oftentimes whether they pick up the Ridley e-tank or the bot wound e-tank could often depend simply on whether or not they have a good Ridley fight and how much energy they have at that moment. And skipping the bot wound e-tank is a little bit of a pain because we don't have the speed booster to run through the speed blocks. So you can't just jump into the hole and grab the E-tank, so you have to actually, jump into the hole, in the sand area. Yeah. Crossproduct showing us why he picked up the Ice Beam.
Intended strats.
Yep. Kishmo making his way through bowling, has had enough energy to take the hits and is just gonna wait for the bowling statue to take him down to pick up his gravity suit. Crossproduct picks up his power bombs. That'll be the only power bomb pack we pick up in the entire game. Well, that's pretty normal. You don't need more than one power bomb pack in most categories. Cross product in chat saying, "Is this game even possible without high jump boots?" Yeah, yes, it is. I will point out you were the one that chose low percent ice over hundo, so. All right, Kish finishing up the wreck ship. We'll probably head over to Kraid next.
And no point in going down in the lower North Air without as much damage reduction as possible.
Yeah, the big difference between having the various suit on or not having it on is going to happen because we do a high jumpless lava dive. Or sorry, high jumpless gravity jump. Lava dive is a little bit different. The high jumpless gravity jump is not free. The gravity jump with high jump boots, which I don't think comes up in any vanilla category, comes up in randomizer, of course, is a pretty easy strat to pull off. But without the high jump boots, it is a more difficult strat. And the extra safety of having that various suit when you have to remove the gravity suit, it is worth it for some runners. Be the main reason why you would go Kraid first instead of Ridley first. As Cross Product makes his way into Fantoon, this is really not that different. For him, it won't be that different than any percent fight if you're doing old route. Just the missile maximum missiles is much lower, and that does make a difference. If you've ever tried doing a Fantoon fight with 10 missiles versus 15, it is different. It is definitely more difficult.
Yeah, it is, and well, you can't also cheese X Factor strats because you don't have wave, so it's a little
That's
bit
right.
of a difference from old route, but
Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that because I'm so used to people in this category just not, they coming up here first, so you're not even thinking of wave beam. And Kish is going to go ahead and do Kraid now. Oh, and Crossprog missing the shot and sends Fantoon into the invisible pattern. The invisible pattern happens when you don't get a shot into Fantoon's eye. He'll do this little round of invisibility that also has, just like the regular patterns, also has a fast, slow, and a mid. It looks like you got a slow invisible, which is not nice after missing that shot.
definitely
Kish,
salt in the wound.
Kish, meanwhile, making quick work of Kraid, getting a nice quick kill. All right. Cross looking pretty close to finish on Fantoon as Kish makes his way out of the Kraid's lair area. We'll see if what E-tanks he chooses to pick up.
feel like this is pretty common. The second one, at least running this route.
All right, cross product finishing up Fantoon. Cross product leaves leaves Kraid's lair. And it has picked up the extra E-Tank. So we'll see if he picks up the high jump E-Tanks or if he's going to wait until he gets over to Ridley. Or even the Botwood E-Tank as his third E-Tank. He is going to pick up Ice Beam because you need that. Difference of 100 shots since a full-on charge beam only Ridley fight is a 300 shot fight. One of the reasons why the two most common low percent categories, the one we're running in this tournament, low percent ice, and the low percent speed category. One of the reasons why you'll see more people run low percent ice is because of that Ridley fight or the Mother Brain fight, where it's 200 versus 300 shots, 200 with ice, 300 without. The other reason being that you have to use power bombs to kill the Metroids, and with only 5 power bombs, that means a whole lot of refilling and refarming in the Metroid rooms.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, in low speed, they do grab 2 power bomb packs.
No, they
But
grab one. Nope,
no,
it's a
no,
simple swap out. Yeah, it's a simple swap of ice versus speed.
I maybe I'm yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because that would
I'm
make
just
it
mentioning.
15%, and in
I
low percent categories, it's got to be 14.
Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking that.
Yeah,
Maybe it's from watching too much Rando and people
it
being
sure
able
could
to
be.
have 10, and then you
Yeah,
go
yep,
down there, you're like, can I get the drops? Can I get the drops? Can I get the drops?
yeah. You're not gonna get you literally can't get enough drops. With only 5, you definitely will have to do some refilling. This is another spot that's a little safer with the various suit, where as we go through bowling, as those spikes will only do 30 damage instead of 60. And Kish gonna farm up before he goes to Lower Norfair, which is a very smart idea. I didn't see if he took any kind of save. I'm gonna farm up to full health and full ammo. Lower Norfair being a very, very dangerous part. Really a dangerous spot in any run, but in low percent ice it is particularly dangerous. But yeah, there are several other low percent categories, but most of those other categories involve extra glitching and or use of the PAL cartridge, or possibly even I think there's some that even involve keyboard only. Not gonna really talk about those. I don't really know a whole lot about them other than we can't just play on the normal cartridge. So Kish going for his gravity jump. Took a few extra wall jumps there on the right side, but still gets it just fine. Now, the way the gravity jump works is when you jump with, basically you want to jump and pause first, and then jump as late out of the pause, or into the pause, I should say, as you can. And you're going to take off gravity suit. With the gravity suit on, you're going to start out faster and then go slower. But without the gravity suit, you end up gaining momentum, and so you end up with a much higher jump than you would otherwise have. With high jump boots, you can actually make it all the way to the ledge, but of course here we can't pick up those high jump boots, so we have to do those extra wall jumps. Okay, Kishmo making his way through fast pillars, which is not fast in this category. He will have a few choices on how to deal with these space pirates. You can either use the ice beam to freeze them and wall jump off them. You could freeze them in midair and just flat out jump off them, or he could just choose to just to bomb his way up and do a nice IBJ up. Looks like he's gonna go for the IBJ. And cross product, yeah, just realized cross product has already picked up every item he's going to pick up. He's got all 3 E-tanks. He's got his 10 missiles, 10 supers, 10 power bombs. He's got both his suits. He's got both his beams, and he's got his bombs and morph ball. Kishmo has 1 more energy tank to pick up. He will have to choose between picking that up at Ridley or at Baoun. Another spot where not having high jump moves. Notice how cross product had to bomb jump his way that room in the cathedral area because that's the way that area is set up. You cannot wall jump there without high jump boots. Those either used to randomize, or one of those ledges is actually taken out in most randomizers so that you can do that wall jump.
Firefly tank. Interesting.
That is,
Or
that
could
is,
just be getting
oh,
power.
I
Could
think
be
he's
just
just,
getting power
yeah,
bombs.
I think he's farming power bombs.
Good call. By
Yeah, because
him, not me.
yeah, because if you're gonna grab that third E-tank, I think the high jump boots E-tank is gonna be faster. That Firefly room is not a fun room to deal with without any kind of movement items. Looks like Kish is gonna wade out these key hunters. As even with gravity suit, they'll do 50 damage on you. And does a very nice job avoiding them. Is going to take the safety save before Ridley. And he's going to have to make sure that he doesn't use his last power bombs down here and uses regular bombs instead, because he needs 1 more power bomb to bomb out this wasteland area.
Yeah.
In this category, you cannot pick up those power bombs a shame. That would give you 15%. I guess they'd be the power bombs of ending your run in this category.
Yeah, that's not good.
All right, cross product heading into his lower Norfair portion of the run. And I often talk about this in other categories, but usually, of late, I've been doing a lot of GT Classic and Hundo commentary because that's the other 2 categories for the week. I've kind of gotten used to this being the commentary that this is the really easy version of lower Norfair, because I always talk about how I like the variety of the difference between the easy lower Norfair with all the items versus the harder lower Norfairs that we have here. But here we do have the harder version of the lower Norfair. Kishmo going to go ahead and farm these bugs here before fighting Ridley. He's going to want to have as much ammo as he can. He's going to want to have that full ammo to have a little bit under the 200 shots that I talked about earlier. Those 10 supers by themselves can do 1/3 of the damage to Ridley, since it would be a 30 super fight. And he could also use the regular missiles. He can use power bombs, and he could even use. And he looks like he's going to use. He's got power. Oh no, he's just going to fire off some power bombs. If they double hit Ridley, that one looked like it might not have quite gotten a double. They would do 400 damage. And if you're going to use them, you want to use them early. You don't want to use them towards the end.
Because they change his swoop patterns, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Especially late.
The AI is specifically meant to deal with, one of the parts of the AI deals with those power bombs, and it kind of puts him in more of an enraged state. And when he turns that pink color, he's already in more of an enraged state. So combining those 2 things, if for any reason, whether it be this category or a randomizer situation, if you're going to have to use power bombs, better to use them early rather than to try and use them late.
Yes, and he'll probably save most of his ammo until late because it's faster to do when he is upset.
Yeah, exactly. The first part of the fight is going to be easier to be using those charge beam shots. Cross product taking his safety save. Looks like he's got just enough power bombs to make it down, as long as he does not use them here. But he's going to instead use the bomb spread which you can do by charging a shot and morphing, and you'll let off all those bombs, and that'll make that a little faster. The place where Cross is going to get into a little bit of trouble here is well, the fact that he's only got 10 energy is a problem. But I was going to refer to the fact that he only has 6 super missiles, and the ninja pirates, so-called, will take 3 shots each. So hopefully he gets good drops on those, because he is going to have to use one of those supers just to open the door into that area. Typically,
Yeah.
those guys will drop you super, so that shouldn't be an issue. But with that low health, he could have been in health bomb range. It could end up in health bomb range when he gets down there. So he's going to have to be careful. He really doesn't want to dip below 30 before hitting that room.
So far, Kish having a pretty clean Ridley fight, at least staying healthy and getting a lot of shots in and not missing many.
Yeah, he's doing a nice job of manipulating Ridley's pogo patterns. And much easier to deal with Ridley here. That spot that he's sitting at, when Ridley gets into that nice pogo on the left side, he won't take any damage there. He can just continually fire those shots off for a little bit. Yeah, and see, this is what I was talking about. Cross product was in health bomb range, so he's only got 1 super left for this second space pirate. And it's going to take a little bit of time for him to do charge shots on him. So I want to say these things are 1800, take 1800 shot health. And the ice beam only does 90 damage, so...
Yeah, three supers, right? Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, it's 3 supers, and I think the supers do double damage, so I believe it is a total of 1800. Yeah, both French Lightning John and Azure confirming 1800 shots. I might have said that way. But this time he does get some supers, does finish off the second one. We'll likely want to farm.
Hard.
Talking is hard.
Talking and math are very difficult.
Okay, Kish having Ridley into the pink part of the fight. That Ridley will turn that color when he is just over half his HP done. I want to say, I've never done the math to confirm this, but I've heard it's like 22 of these charge shots, and then he can fire off his ammo to finish Ridley off. Does not want to miss a super.
No, that's
a lot of charge shots you have to use to make up for a missed super.
9, I believe, would be it.
Yeah, something like that. Cross product, 1 more super and he'll be ready to go in. And Kishmo finishing up Ridley. Very nicely done.
And a high five.
As cross product goes into his Ridley fight. We'll see if Kishmo decides to pick up the E-Tank. Looks like he is. Cross product using a different strat, going to use the Ice Shield. Basically what that'll do, it's a special beam attack used when you just have charge and 1 beam. You arm your power bombs, hold your charge, and that pattern will show up. Each one of those particles, I believe, still does the same 90 damage that the charge ice beam does, but it does hit Ridley a little bit faster if you get yourself in the right position. So far, Cross product doing a nice job manipulating Ridley here.
I think this kind of is, if you're watching Cross do this, that shows why he's so underseated in this. Just he knows how to do these types of things.
Yeah,
it's just
absolutely.
a matter of running them in a normal circumstance like this to put a time on the board.
Yeah, one of the cool things, one of the things I was excited about with cross product is it was a good chance, whatever category he ran, it was a good chance he would get a PB just because he hasn't been going for those PBs. As Kish makes his way out of Lower Norfair, he's got one more difficult spot. Like this spot is not too bad. The Three Musketeers on the way out. That's the hardest part he's got left in terms of Norfair, I should say. Dragon is a whole nother boss fight that is definitely a place where things can go wrong.
Good news, he's got fairly solid health for the Three Musketeers, and maybe he'll do some not official, like things that they did. I'm gonna just stop.
Oh, he's in a little bit of trouble here. Okay, he's fine.
Yeah, but
One
I
of the things.
didn't know.
Yeah, go ahead.
Unconventional stress.
Yeah, he had one more hit he could take. Those Key Hunters will do 50 damage with Gravity Suit. One thing you have to remember though is those blocks. You're used to having Wave Beam when you leave that area in an any % run, and without Wave Beam, you have to actually fire more shots to open up those blocks. And I wonder if he wasn't quite thinking about that and managed to still save it by getting over. And he's going to go over here into the speed booster area. He's not going to grab the speed booster, of course. He is going to use this spot to farm. Again, he'll want to farm up to full supers and full energy. This farming bit is a big reason why you would consider running Ridley first instead of Kraid first, because you don't really need to do this farm if you're going to Kraid next. You get a bit of a free super missile refill from Mini Kraid on your way out. It's the same reason why you typically, one of the same reasons why you typically do that in any % new route. And Kish also remembering that we don't get to go through the Frog Speedway here.
No, he definitely did set up to drop that power bomb and then cause himself.
Yeah, muscle memory is a thing here. With so many different categories in this tournament, it's not unusual to see a runner think about the wrong category, a wrong strat for the wrong category at the wrong time. And as you're making a good point in chat about the bug farm near Frog Speedway is the one you're going to use in any %. It's a little more accessible. I mean, he could use that one, but it's much more out of the way if you're not going to actually go through Frog Speedway to get out. Crossprog must be getting close here. He's still got 5 supers to spare, and Ridley's already in that nice pink state. He's going to have to be careful. Ridley's managed to get out of that pogo pattern, which is never a good thing. I think he may have missed a few supers. He's going to go to power bombs, which is never a good sign. And I don't think that power bomb even hit once, let alone twice. Yeah, that.
It's tough.
Yeah, he was doing really, really well for a while, but it's such a difficult fight. But all he can do, he's got the save, so he's going to go ahead and go back to the save and go for it again. Kish, in the meantime, in Meridia, is going to have to do a gravity jump here. He's going to, again, just like before, going to have to pause and then jump as late as he can. The later you jump out of the pause, jump into the pause, I should say, the higher you're going to get. This area, as we see him wall jumping, that's not an easy wall jump to do. A lot of people will choose to do another gravity jump there instead of doing the wall jumps, but Kish shows that he has no trouble with that. and Crossproduct just bombing that Tuskegee to death.
That's one way to do it.
And here we see the ice clip, one of the reasons why we can do this category without getting speed booster. Freezing the Metroid in the right place and jumping through the blocks. And notice here, he's only going to have 9 supers for this fight. He had to use one to get into the aqueduct area. He ended up missing one, so he's going to have to follow up with missiles and possibly charge shots. I always find Botwin harder to hit with regular missiles, so... Fortunately, even though it's going to take a little bit longer, he can stand in that corner and just jump up and down to take those shots, and he's not going to get hit.
Didn't take too long either, so that was good.
And now he can't grab this energy tank, so what he's going to have to do is go below it here, and then jump up through the hole here, which is a little bit tricky because he's in sand physics, which of course is the worst physics in this game. And he does it just fine. Uses bombs to get through the rest of that morph ball maze. But yeah, I see some comments about the power bombs at the end of the fight. You know, using the power, I feel like that's a panic strat at the end of this fight to go to those power bombs. You're much better off using them early, like Kish did. Even if whether you're using the ice shield, like Cross started out with the first time, or if yeah, or just using him like he's doing right now, just going for those double hits. And Crossproduct starting his Ridley fight again as Kish goes through Coliseum. This is also kind of a dangerous area. Kind of deceptively dangerous because that sand does have spikes in it, so you don't want to spend too much time in that area. Looks like there is a save up there that he could choose to take. Let's see if he decides to take it.
He's trying to get the...
Yeah, he just wants to drop. Yep, so he's not going to take a save here. The Dragon fight is going to be another difficult fight. We don't have anything to do this fight with other than ammo and charge beam. He does fortunately have enough ammo to shoot out the turrets. And of course, one of the differences between Dragon and Ridley is you can farm up the goo during the goo phase to get extra ammo. Now, Kish going to start with an ice shield for the Dragon fight.
Which is an interesting strat, just because it does put you in harm's way. A lot of times you end up taking a hit when you don't have a lot of them to take.
So we got our simultaneous boss fights, but here's the interesting thing. I don't know that Kish took a save at all after the Ridley fight. So if this goes badly, yeah, if this goes badly for him, this could really even things up. Cross products in his Ridley fight. His last save also right before the Ridley fight, so.
And I think I saw Kish do this strat, and I'm maybe wrong, but you can actually pseudo screw Dragon.
You can
also, correct? Yeah,
you can. It does. It's going to damage you though as well. So you got to be a little bit careful about how and when you do that.
Yeah, I think he snuck one in at least, or maybe did it on accident. But I thought I saw one.
Taking that damage. This is problematic. The one good thing about that being grabbed is when you do get grabbed and get that tail swiped at you. The next time Dragon does a swoop, she'll go back to the slowest mode. Okay, here we go. Kishmo finishing off Dragon.
Cross got the good pogo patterns going right now.
And Kish gonna have to choose either to gravity jump out of here or bomb jump out of here. And does get the gravity jump out. I like how he got the gravity jump and then turned it off or turned it back on in order to do the wall jumps up there. And this wall jump out of the Dragon's area is a little bit tricky, but he gets it. Okay, cross-product using his supers. It's a if you can use those supers when Ridley's in that pogo pattern and get that high DPS right there, that's a really good place to do it. And Kish gonna have to avoid that E-tank again, but on the way out, it's very easy to avoid because the game has that little trap air block where you're gonna fall down anyway. And Cross Product finishing up his Ridley fight.
Good job. Got some unfortunate luck the last time. Just barely missed it.
And Kishmo gonna go ahead and do an reverse ice clip through the through this Metroid room. Typically, a lot of runners will instead just go down the sand pits. Not the major right and left ones, but the one below the hallway after Batun. But Kish decides to just do the ice clip instead, and he's on his way out and on his way to Mother Brain.
Cross didn't, or he didn't. I should stop talking, but he did not farm to full health, which is a little surprising, just since all those bugs are just right there and fairly easy to take care of right there. And the key hunters do hit hard.
Yes, indeed they do. And he has to go through the 2 sets of them. Not to mention these Tuskigas here in Wasteland. Okay, Kish working on a gravity jump to get out of here. Doesn't quite get it. He may be... It's only a few frames that you can do this at. So he's got to really wait as long as he can after he hits the pause button to get that jump. In fact, you don't even want to be seeing... Like if you hit it late enough but still get it, you won't even actually see the jump. And that's kind of what you're looking for. Okay, Crossfire going to take this save, which is kind of a dicey proposition because he's only can take 2 hits from any of these key hunters, whether they be these ones down here, the ones in the Three Musketeers area. So he's kind of in a really bad health spot. I think you're right. I think going ahead and farming earlier might have been the better answer. So he is going to... Oh, see, he doesn't quite get the supers off.
And they have a ton of...
Yeah, they do a ton of damage. It's like I said, it's 50.
Well, yeah, and they have a ton of HP too.
Oh yeah, they do. Cross product in the chat, we're asking when did this get harder than RBO? Frankly, I think this is the harder category of the 2. I do plan on actually eventually running RPO, but low ice is just not going to happen for me. Not just because of the Ridley fight, but you know, RBO is very... Like the first half of the run is just a mad dash of go as fast as you can before you die in the heat rooms, and then a slow dash as you go through Suitless Meridia. But then it's kind of just a boss rush to get to Phantoon and Kraid, whereas low ice is just difficult throughout the entire run.
Yeah, there's just no way you can get yourself extra protection, ammo, or anything.
Crossbow's gonna have to be very careful. He cannot take a hit from the Three Musketeers as he wall jumps his way, staying out of that acid. Doesn't make a difference that he took damage from the acid because he still wouldn't have been able to take a hit. Looks like he's just gonna play it safe. He can kill these key hunters down here. The only thing he has to watch out for is those key hunters every once in a while will surprise you and jump down. Meanwhile, Kish
somehow
taking
they defy Signet.
Yeah, Kish taking a ship save before he heads down to Torian.
Good call.
Not even dropping the big health for Cross there.
Stingy, stingy.
Okay, and Kishmo gonna head on into Torian. Look at take a little bit of a break here, contemplate what he's about to do. The Metroid rooms don't really change a whole lot, but than in any percent run. But Mother Brain 2 is another very very difficult fight. And Crossbar gonna charge ice this key hunter to death. At this point, I think he just wants to finish this run. So I think this is the good choice to just go ahead and play it safe, even though it's a lot slower than to try and avoid taking a hit, because he cannot take a hit here.
Yeah, finishing a low ice run is an accomplishment to itself.
It really is, especially in a race situation. Oh, now he gets the big health drop. Would have been nice if he could have had that before the last key hunter. He could have chosen to try and take a damage hit to get through. Just gonna group these Metroids. Ammo is definitely a concern in this category. If he doesn't have good ammo going into Metroid Room 4, he might choose to kill only 2 of the Metroids and reset the room. Once you kill all 3, then they'll never come back. But if you kill just 2 and you leave the other way, they will come back and you can farm them. So far, his ammo looks really good, and if he just uses regular missiles in the last room, he'll be fine. He'll probably group these up and just use regular missiles to kill them. Cross product, meanwhile, having farmed up to full ammo, will make his way out. He also laying a power bomb before realizing, oh wait, that doesn't do me any good.
It's just a swag power bomb.
That's right. Cross product and chasing. In theory, this is faster than Hundo. For those of you that maybe don't have Twitch chat up or maybe are watching later on a YouTube video. All right. Of course, without high jump boots, we're not going to do baby skip. While it is doable without high jump boots, it's not going to save time, and so not worth the trouble. I've actually never seen anyone actually do it, so I've only been told that it's doable. Kishmo going to go ahead and open some of these doors with missiles before refilling. This is, of course, dangerous because he only has 1 health. He does have the ship save, though, just in case. So he's going to open that door, and now he's going to go back and do all his refilling. And Crossprog being his trip through Meridia.
Nice jump.
And now he's going to have to do the same gravity jumps that Kishmo did earlier. Kish is going to go ahead and run through this. He'll use a super on the red door. Because if you use a super, you're essentially using 3 missiles worth. Whereas it actually takes 5 missiles to actually open the door. So you're using up more HP by using the regular missiles. The only time it's better to use missiles on any of these is if you plan on going back and refilling. And of course, being that we don't have wave beam, we have to freeze the Rinka from below in order to do the Zep skip. Kish having a little bit of trouble getting through, but does make it. And you cannot miss a shot here. So Krish being very careful not to get sniped. Does manage to get through. And now sit back for a 200 shot Mother Brain fight. There really isn't a whole lot you can do to speed this up. You can use an ice shield. You'll see Kip doing that as one of his strats. But no ammo to speak of to actually save any charge shots here. Sometimes you'll often end up with one missile left after Mother Brain 1. Kish did not, so he's got to do the full 200 shots here.
And that missile will save you a whole one charge shot, I believe.
Yeah. Well, I mean it's 90 versus 100, so yeah. And cross product using the ice shield on Baoun. That's interesting. I'm not sure how much ammo. Yeah, I'm not sure how much ammo he walked into that room with, but he has none now, so his only choice is to go ahead.
I think he had 4 supers and 5 regular missiles. Snake physics are the worst.
But he can just fire charge shots from that corner and he won't get hurt. Kishmo, on the other hand, will get hurt if he just stays in that corner, so he does have to dodge all these attacks. And what's interesting is, even though these attacks do less damage, and you can take the onion rings, I don't think you can take an onion ring hit, but the ketchup beams, even though they do more damage, they're easier to, they're more projected, and they're easier to dodge. Yeah, crossproduct, remember, he cannot pick up that E-tank. He's got to come through that hole there. Oh. That's a reset. Okay. Looks like he's just going to take the damage to get killed and going to have to go back to the save. You cannot go below 301. Once you get below 301, there's no way to get that energy back other than just resetting. Or just letting yourself die and going back to your save. But that's why we take safety saves here. It's going to give Cross a bit of a chance to catch up. This fight is very difficult. Kish in a very solid lead, but too many Mother Brain deaths could make a difference here. We'll see. But hopefully Kish just gets through it on the second try, and hopefully Cross probably gets through his Dragon fight here. And John making a really good point in chat that Kish is using a SNES Classic. So actually hitting the reset button loses extra time on the SNES Classic because you have to go through the extra menu of that the SNES Classic has to allow you to select Super Metroid in the first place. So definitely going to be faster to just let yourself die, especially in this situation where you can just hit Mother Brain. Crossbog, meanwhile, in his Dragon fight, using charge beams. Gonna farm up some more ammo here, I think. Maybe switch to regular missiles. Okay, cross product finishing up his Dragon fight. Looked for a second like he was gonna bomb jump his way out. Switches to the gravity jump. Meanwhile, Kish well into his second Mother Brain fight.
Apologize, I had to step away. Micro fell asleep on my wife, and I had to help get her to bed.
That's okay.
And good news, she stayed asleep when I put her in her bed, so far
Nice.
we're winning.
I feel like there's not a whole lot to add to this fight. Just gotta watch and see if Kishmo can pull this off.
I mean, I think it's just kind of proved what we were talking about earlier is that a really big lead could potentially quickly turn into not a lead at all.
Yep. Yeah, Kish doing a nice job of dodging some of those onion rings.
I heard somebody say onion rings earlier, talking about Mother Brain. I'm like, man, onion rings sound amazing right now.
Don't they? We are in the catch-up stage, so we have less than 50 shots, which when you think about it, when you consider the fact that if we have full beam combo, it's 20 shots total, and now we're getting a sight over less than 50 shots.
And while ketchup generally isn't the most difficult thing to dodge, it becomes...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will end your attempt, and he would have to reset, so let's hope he does manage to keep out of the range of those ketchup beams.
Especially when you get some of the jerk patterns where there's a French fry and a meatball thrown at you at the same time. You dodge one and you jump right into a ketchup.
Oof. And
Like they're almost...
Yeah, I think the iframes from the meatball that he managed, because he didn't actually take any damage there, but he also managed to have that ketchup go right through him. So, all right, he's through. And in celebration, he throws off a power bomb or two.
And for Cross, he could have a pretty substantial PB here.
Yeah, Cross is having a very, very nice run. Even though even with the slower route he took, and the death to Ridley, this is looking really good for him. Let's see if cross product takes a save or a refill at the ship. Now he chooses not to. A little bit surprised. He'll be a little bit more reliant on the drops from the Metroids. And Azure with the knowledge in chat that apparently the damage that Kish didn't seem to take on the bomb that allowed him to escape the ketchup damage. Basically, it's a 3/4 of damage, but that rounds down. The game will round it down to 0, so it's like he's taking 0 damage. And finally, we get a decent beam here as Kish gets to fire off that hyper beam. 36 shots will finish off Mother Brain 3. This part of this this is actually by no means free. Though Kish doing a very, very nice job of just getting through it. But those onion rings are still coming. Kish finishing off Mother Brain 3. All that's left is the escape. Crossprog, meanwhile, contemplating life, now ready to go into Turian.
Could go get a PB or not.
Okay, here he goes. Kish in the escape. And Crossprog going to use missiles for some of these Metroids. Unfortunately, only has 2, so he's forced to use supers. But now has 8, so he can switch back to missiles in the next room. Is going to need to get drops here, or he's going to have to either go out and refill or reload some rooms in order to get the drops that he needs. Okay, 9 and 7 looking better.
Better.
Okay, 10 and 9.
Should be good.
Oh, it looks like he was ready to Shine Spark that, but of course, we can't Shine Spark here, no speed booster, so he's just going to use the his normal ledge grab strat. Without high jump boots, you might as well do this, whatever your normal way of getting up the climb is. Meanwhile, Crossprod damaging himself down, waiting for the baby. And Kishmo finishing up in first place with an official SRL time of 1:06:39. GG's to Kishmo. And Crossprog in very good position to finish up, and does have a shot at a PB, I do believe. Okay, Crossprod having opened some doors, goes ahead and refills the missiles and his energy. See if he takes a save before Mother Brain probably is going to. We saw how difficult that fight was.
I'm really hoping it goes pretty smooth for Cross. I want to see a good race PB. Those never get old.
No, absolutely not. Oh, not taking the save.
At this point, why not, though? I mean...
Again, gonna have to be careful not to have any of these super missiles sniped. And does the first part just fine.
I thought he was going to get Rinka sniped, which is the awkward one that you don't really see very often.
Yeah, it can happen. Crossprod gonna open with some ice shields.
Should get him down to about 191 shot. Good job avoiding the meatball chicken nugget bomb with by bomb. Which, if I'm not mistaken, if you bomb the Mother Brain's bombs, she will regenerate it quick.
Yeah, I feel like that's a strat that you're going to see more less experienced runners do. I've heard that's not necessarily the best thing to do. It's better to just dodge them.
But do what you got to do to stay alive.
Yeah. And we already knew this, but we do see a confirmation that Kish only got the 14% items that he was allowed to pick up. So once again, GG's to Kishmo, our winner today. He will move into the 2-2 bracket. Crossproduct will also move into the 2-2 bracket, as this was the one matchup that did not have runners of same records. Crossproduct being the lowest ranked 2-1 player, Kishmo being the highest ranked 1-2 player. That's how they got matched up.
I feel like now that there's only one runner going and doing this, it's much more stressful for me than it was previously.
Yeah, because you can look at the other side and be like, okay, he's oh, and look back and be like, okay, he's further along. Every time I see those onion rings go, doesn't matter which one of these runners.
I don't know if I can handle the stress to the ring.
Well, especially, okay, here's the catch-up, so 50 shots. You got this, Cross.
Ugh.
Yeah, I honestly don't know if the pseudo-screwing while getting hit by ketchup actually stops you from taking damage. Maybe somebody in chat could answer that. I'm hearing a few I like those pseudos, so I'm guessing that would work, but it's a scary moment. Yeah, chat confirming, Azure and French Lightning John both confirming that that does protect you from it.
I think it should be about 40 shots.
Yeah, and both of them also adding that the scary part is making sure you don't go into the wall jump post. But hey, we got to the rainbow beam.
There we go.
Cross Product makes it through on the first try, Mother Brain. He needed to do it too, because he did not take a save. I do believe his last save was also coming out of Lower Norfair, so.
And he could not take another bump from anything.
and he gets to wait as the baby refills his energy. All right, again, finally getting that decent beam with the hyper beam. Cross product gonna shoot 36 shots right into Mother Brain's head to finish her off.
Also, Mother Brain 3, not free. Known plenty of good runners to accidentally die there somehow.
It can happen. But unfortunately not to cross product, so now he just has the escape. Just has to remember that he can't do it. No shine sparking allowed. Doesn't have the speed booster.
Now, there's plenty of time in this, but even when I come back to play this after years, not playing it but knowing, like the way the screen shaking and the music and everything, it makes you a little extra nervous, even though you really don't have any reason to be.
Oh, for sure. The and this room without high jump boots, this is like, in my opinion, the worst. That room that Cross just left, in my opinion, is the worst room of the game to not have high jump boots in. Cross product trying to start a left side wall jump, which is a pretty standard way of getting out of here when you don't have speed booster.
So you think that is the worst room in the game more than the worst room in the game with this
if you
combo?
don't have high,
Yeah,
it's not. Okay, so the point is that in worst room of the game, if you don't have high jump boots, unless you're Sloaters or Aussie or one of those guys, you're just not going to be able to make the wall jump up. So you're going to have to use a different strat anyway. Whereas in that room, you're going to still be doing wall jumps, and
that makes
those
sense.
can be very annoying. And Cross Product finishing up with an official SRL time of 1:17:59, saying it's a 15-minute PB. I believe that sounds about right. Let's see what his
I
PB
said
was.
132 or 137.
Yeah, that would, yep. Yeah, 1:32:07. So, yep, definitely. That's a 15-minute PB.
I'm not a math expert, but I think that's good.
Cross Product adding a comment: feel when you're charge shotting Metal Pirates and Kish still has full HP versus Ridley.
No, both runners did a great job today. This is fun.
Yeah, I'm really glad I got to do a low percent ice race. I wasn't sure I was going to get a chance to, especially as we're coming down to our last matches of the week. There's only one more match scheduled, so we'll shout that out now. As it looks like Cross Product is going to join us in just a second. Tomorrow we do have one more match, Azo versus Freya Spirit. That'll be at 4 o'clock. Don't know what channel yet, but keep an eye out on the SpeedGaming channel to see what channel that'll be on, and make sure you take a look. After that, don't know what's coming up next, because we'll have a whole new schedule for next week once this race gets recorded and that last race gets finished up. And welcome in, Cross Product. GG, finishing that up. And I don't think you embarrassed yourself, so very well done. Cross product, can you hear us? I think he's still
It still
working out.
can't be any more embarrassing than just me being on here. So
Yeah, he did say at the beginning. He did say at the beginning of the race, okay, he's gonna fix some stuff up. Just get this right. His goal was a 145, and then he adds that actually his goal is to not totally embarrass himself. So I believe he succeeded on both of those counts. So very well done.
I'd say a 15-minute PB is not embarrassing yourself.
Not at all. Okay, he's having some mic issues, so we're gonna give him a second to hopefully fix that so we can talk to him. I do believe this is, let me double check, but I do believe this is the last thing on the schedule tonight after a very busy day, both of Super Metroid and of the Speed Gaming channels in general.
Hey.
Hey, cross product. Nice PB.
Hey, thanks. For some reason, I thought my time was like 155. I was gonna go for like a 145.
So
apparently it's 132.
If I'm not
PB.
If I'm not mistaken, isn't 155 your hundo time? At least that's the
No.
one I see in this. It's the one I see. It's the one on the spreadsheet.
It should be 135. 155 is but my dashless hundo, I think.
Oh.
That was more like 150 actually.
Oh, cross. That's
hang on,
that.
Hang on a second. There's no way.
The sheet says 152.18.
No, my hundo time's like 135. One.
Cross.
I guess I never updated that.
So you understand that if you had reported your hundo time properly, you would have been seated a lot higher.
I probably wouldn't have to fight Kishmo, but it's not my fault. He was 1 and 2. I mean, give me a break.
Yeah,
I still probably would be the lowest seeded 2 and 1. That's okay.
Oh gosh. So yeah, I mean,
no, it's like almost 20 minutes slower than I can actually do. Like that's my dashless hundo actually is faster than the time on that leaderboard. Whoops.
Yeah, I mean, I chalked it up to you just not updating your run in a long time. I
need to clean up some of those.
But because I know
what happens when you do 1,000 randomizers and don't clean up your PBs.
Because I know you're better than a 150 52 or whatever it is hundo PB. So. So anyway, let's talk about this run.
It was pretty good. I only died once.
It really was. You died to Ridley. A lot of people have died to Ridley this week in this category. And a lot of people have died to Ridley more than once.
I missed a super missile, and I kind of lost all my focus when I missed a super missile at the end.
Yeah, in the first one. Yeah, I feel like you panicked a little bit. I don't think it made the
difference in the race, so I'm not too upset about it. But
no, I don't think you should be.
I think the difference in the race, was having to charge shot that metal pirate, and then dying to Ridley, and then having to bomb the Tuskegee. So that I wouldn't have to charge shots at metal pirate. Pretty awful.
Yep.
Yeah, that my worst room in the game run was pretty bad. I think worst room in the game itself wasn't too bad, but I think I got hit like 5 times between worst room and the save point. Oh well. I also died to a key hunter on my way to. It's pretty. My lower north area was pretty trash.
Yeah, I think the key hunter was it right after the save or something like that? I mean, it wasn't like it was a huge time loss.
Or no, I died to a Tuskegee or something. Yeah, because that's right. I didn't commit to getting hit by the first one, and so I got hit twice, which shouldn't happen. Oh well. I didn't save before Mother Brain. I just figured I'll either finish the run or I'll forfeit. It's no big deal.
Okay, yeah, I wondered if that was going to be the strat there, because if I remember correctly, the last save before that was the one after Ridley, so...
Yeah, it was just a good thing I saved there, because I
That's a
I
scary
need to work
save
on
point
those
though.
guys.
That's a scary save point though, because with such low health, you have to get through those key hunters. And then, I saw that on the Three Musketeers, you just said, "Screw it, I'm just gonna shoot them," and it takes forever. I've done that before in randomizers. It's not fun.
Fortunately, I had chat open and got a little advice there. Apparently, charge shots deal double damage to key hunters, so that's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, I believe that was Azure. As long as apparently, as long as you
So
don't have Spazer on, apparently Spazer messes that up. So
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't know that.
all right. So, we gotta be in the 2-2 bracket. Actually, both you and Kish in the 2-2. So they
Oh,
don't
no.
they don't let you get rematches in Swiss, so far as I know. So you don't have to face him again. But it does put you in that interesting position of, if you win your last two, you still get a shot at brackets by going into the play-in race.
Okay.
So how you feeling about next week's categories? We got RBO, All Bosses, and GT Classic.
No bingo? Man.
Week 6.
No one wants to play me in bingo anyway.
Well, veto any percent and take your chances with RBO.
Yeah, I mean, it depends who my opponent is, because if it's somebody that, like, oh, this person has a 10-minute faster PB than I do, I'll just pick the most volatile category and hope and see. Which worked last week, but not this week.
Yeah, that's the other question. So you chose low percent. So the choice, Kish immediately vetoed GG Classic, and you chose low percent over Hundo. So what was your thought process there?
It was just that the better the runner is, like, the better his movement overall is, and Kishmo's like a 43 or something, any percent, I don't know. He's ridiculously better than I am.
He's very good.
So the more volatile the category, the more chance I have of him just dying.
Sure.
That was my philosophy in picking the category, but he did die once, some other brain, and if I didn't die, I would have at least made it a close race. I still don't think I win that, because save point is real close to Mother Brain, but so he doesn't lose terribly much time dying to Mother Brain. That's fine.
Yeah, and the other difference.
I had fun. I had a pretty good run.
And
I had fun practicing.
Kind of cool to see the different route that you took, doing Kraid first. So that was pretty neat. You scared me a little bit a couple times. There was at one point when you were going past the charge missiles. For one moment, it looked like you were gonna go the wrong direction.
Nah, I had a backup save anyway, but
and then
with the Varia suit and the extra everything. I had my backup save, but even
when
so,
you went down, and so
it was funny. I actually was trolling there. I did start running toward the charge missiles, just like they'll think this is funny. But then, like, as I started running toward it, I was like, no, what if I actually get it by mistake? So I only moved like 1 pixel to the left, and then forget this.
And then when you killed Kraid, we realized, okay, you can kill Kraid first. No reason you can't, because you're still just picking a Varia suit. And then when you started to go down to Norfair, I'm like, well, let's just remember you can't pick up high jump boots, because I know that's like your item. So
yeah. So the idea is having ice beam to get up red tower, because if your options are infinite bomb jump or go grab ice beam.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
And while the slow thing, and honestly, actually, if you're going to get 3 tanks before lower Norfair, you're going to get the high jump E tank. So getting it before wrecked ship actually isn't any slower if you've already gone down the elevator, right?
Okay,
because you have to come back up, because you have to go through Cathedral to get in the Bubble Mountain, right?
Yep.
So you already have to go from the ice door down the high jump back up to the ice door. So
yeah, and I have to confess,
you're already in front of the ice door. You're not losing time by doing it earlier.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit dumb now, because I completely forgot about the fact that you want to have that ice beam to get up the bottom part of Red Tower.
I forgot too. Fortunately, I did a practice run this week.
Because you and I are just so used to the randomizer where they remove the one little the platform area.
It depends.
Yeah, you can.
But
yeah, that's true, because we both also play SMG3.
I did. I actually ran low ice in in Andrew's relay sometime last year.
Yeah, I remember that.
And yeah, I was running low ice in that. And while I was practicing, I did some timing. And if you go down from Red Tower, if you take the route I did versus just going straight to Fantoon, you lose about 45 seconds. Because if you think about it, you have to do most of this stuff anyway. The time you lose is from the new bridge door to the ice door and back. Like getting the high jump E-tank, fighting crate, like that's all stuff you got to do anyway, assuming you're getting the high jump E-tank, which I do because that's all how bad my relief fight was. But yeah, if you time when I timed Red Tower down to the ice beam door, back up to Red Tower to the new bridge door, it was about 45 seconds. And that for effectively effectively like 5 times the health, right? Because you would have 200
because you have
health.
Varia versus the power suit, plus
you have 500 health
tanks.
and Varia, so you have effectively 1,000 health versus 200 health. Take the world record route. So it's about 45 seconds for 5 times the health. Oh, that's worth it.
Yeah, that's a nice safety. I mean, especially if you're not used to those. I mean, I can't even do the fan. You've seen my Fantoon fights. Trying to do that one tank power suit Fantoon just isn't for me. So
yeah, I can
totally
do
get
it. I can fight Fantoon with one tank and power suit, but I feel like I'm losing about 45 seconds while I'm hiding in the corner farming flames.
Sure, yeah.
So
Yeah,
if I'm gonna spend 45 seconds sweating my rear end off fighting Fantoon, I'll just get Varia suit so I don't have to sweat.
Yeah, that's a very fair choice. All right, so that's pretty much going to do it. Anything else you want to add before we go, Cross?
No, it was a good run. I'm happy with it. I didn't actually do a full run of practice. I did every part of the run and did it a few times just to get a feel for, the gravity jumps, which were pretty bad actually. The Ridley fight, Mother Brain, obviously, but yeah, I didn't actually put together a full run this week. I'm happy with the 117. I liked it.
Yep.
And GG to Kishmo. I mean, what can you do? I didn't update my hundo time. That's why I'm here.
Yeah. Well, next time we do one of these tournaments, you'll update your times, right?
Maybe.
Maybe. All right. Thanks, Cross, and GG's again.
Hey, thanks for commentating.
You're welcome. All right. Anything you want to add, Mookie, before we close this out?
No, I think we covered about everything.
All
yeah,
right.
I got nothing.
Well, that'll be it for us, and it is the end of the day. We do have one more match for the week going on tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Again, don't know what channel that'll be on. That'll be Azo versus Freya Spirit. But other than that, that's going to be it for us. Thank you to SpeedGaming. Thank you to Ditmook for joining me on commentary. Thank you to our runners, crossproduct and Kishmo. If you're not already following them, please go ahead and give those guys a follow, along with my co-commentator. And of course, thank you all for watching. I am Tracy M, joined again by Ditmook. And as always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you may be.
Bye, everyone.